Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show. We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth
and sell it on the internet really fast.
I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit. We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land.
for half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWit.
Hello.
Welcome to our show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about picking the right county to send purchase offers to owners. Jill, great show today. Let's take a question first, though. Posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our online free community.
Cool. All right. Milan wrote and asked, a guy agreed on my offer for 40 acres of land, but he wants to keep half of the mineral rights. I think it might kill the deal on the sell side when the potential buyer sees this on the deed. It could seem like buy your own land, but it's not really 100% yours. What do you guys think? I'm going to tell him no mineral rights or no deal in a very nice way, like we just want to mediate there and no diggers are. Oh, meditate there, excuse me. I want to go back. It says, I'm going to tell him no mineral rights or no deal in a very nice way, like we just want to meditate there and no diggers are allowed. That's hilarious. Like we're just going to pop up and start digging and saying, excuse me.
You know, like I think some of this land is, you know, it's used for stranger things than that.
That's really cute.
I don't know. What do you think? Would you let it kill a deal?
No,
Neither
I
would
wouldn't. Because most of my buyers, that they're about where to put their cabin. They're not thinking of it like, oh, there's money and there's gold in them there hills.
Never gets discussed.
Exactly.
I've discussed this topic maybe twice in 15 years with a seller or a buyer.
And you know what I tell them? I'm sure you do the same thing. If it ever comes up, I'm like, you know what? Let's just assume there are no mineral rights. We're going to go, and because most of the time I don't. If there's something down the road that you get, yay, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
But for, I'm really not picking up land for that, nor do I care to keep it. I mean, it's not on my criteria.
I'm surprised it even came up at all. Mm-hmm. I think if it came up with us and I was actually doing the deal, mm-hmm. I think I would tell the seller, thank you, but I'm going to move on. You
could do that too.
So I think that Milan's probably relatively new, and that's fine. I just think that this is a way to complicate a first or second or third or fourth deal. It's, I think you've said it a million times, Jill. It's like, come on, man, let's just do a simple deal. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deals. Let's just be simple about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? You may be 100 deals in, and this is the first one that comes up too. So it doesn't, sometimes these things just don't come up, like we said.
I guess my question would be too, and I don't want to get all philosophical and brainy about this. I really don't. But who really knows who owns what mineral rights? This has been a deal for, unless you have staring at a physical copy of all the deeds, because that's how mineral rights gets conveyed. They get conveyed right on a deed. It'll say, accept mineral rights or whatever. Mm-hmm. You just really, truly don't know. Mm-hmm. Bet you $1. This guy doesn't really own anything.
Yeah, that's true. He thinks he owns it, but it could have been two transactions ago, which were 50 years ago. Somebody else has it.
When everybody's digging for gold in California, all these mineral rights in these deals there's tons and tons of stuff that went on, and not all of it got recorded, if you know what I mean. So it's just, it's complicated.
Well, here's another thing to think about. It may not be just that somebody wants to have the mineral rights, because nobody really knows what that's worth. It may be worth 0. But I can see maybe a potential buyer, worried that, is someone going to show up and start digging? No. You know what I mean? That's not what that means also. So, do you know what when you're buying, I mean, let's be honest, the home, the parcel that your home sits on right now, what if there's oil under there? You know what I mean? Does it mean that the guy who homesteaded it 100 years ago is going to come and tell you to move your house because there's oil under there someday? No.
We're sitting in Southern California right now doing this show. There's a ton of oil under where we're sitting, and nobody's digging for it.
Right. So I think people don't really understand sometimes, and it's not a bad thing, but you don't have to worry about that. It's really not going to probably ever come up in your lifetime. And here's another thing too, Jack. I mean, is this something people even realistically look for nowadays? I mean, when was the last time you heard someone, other than in Alaska? Mm-hmm. In Alaska, I still hear people, or the fracking areas.
Yeah, people, honestly, people their whole lives are centered around purchasing mineral rights. It's actually a pretty big industry, and I understand why people would want to retain mineral rights. There's a huge company in Nevada called Nevada Land and Trust, I think. They're tied to the railroad somehow. So, and it dates back to the 1800s, and they have a ton of land for sale. If you go look for them right now, I actually talk about it in the Cash Flow from Land program. I've purchased a ton of property from them, really cheap. And their whole thing is we never wanted the property anyway. We just want the mineral rights. So they retain all the mineral rights to all of that property. And
it's just gambling that maybe someday
there's so much money in oil and minerals and stuff in this country. I mean, crazy money. ExxonMobil is the most profitable company in the world.
Well, how do you know what you're sitting on, though?
So they have armies of, it's a dice roll, but they have armies of attorneys to making sure that they own the mineral rights and the whole thing. So that's why I kind of just shy away from this, because even if you say, I own the mineral rights, here's my deed, and my grandfather's owned this thing since it was homesteaded, and there's companies out there drilling and stuff, they're going to tie it up, and it's not worth little people like us dealing with this.
Well,
I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of emails saying I'm wrong.
Well, here's my question. I'm just going to play devil's advocate here because I'm curious. What would you say? Because I want to hear your answer, and then I'll tell you what I think. John Smith wants to buy this property from us in Nevada, and it's got gorgeous views and beautiful sunsets and red rocky areas, whatever it is, and he wants to put his cabin there. I mean, John Smith's not going to think about or worry about somebody coming along and uprooting his cabin. So for mineral rights, you know what I mean? I mean, what if John Smith thinks about it and asks you about that?
I would say I'm very confident you do not own the mineral rights, and I'm extremely confident no one's going to come knocking on your door to put an oil well there. Extremely confident. And if they do, I'm pretty confident that if you contest it at all, they're probably going to buy their way out of it with you, in which time you can go find another awesome cabin spot and probably be all the richer for it.
Exactly.
That's why every time this topic comes up, it's way beyond our level.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, if it ever really something crazy like that happened, I was thinking you will be compensated. Let's not worry about that. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Thank you.
We have I've sold property to people that get, they get payments from large companies just because they think they own their mineral rights, and the company really doesn't want to look into it, and they want to do some stuff. And there's no drilling, there's no anything. They get payments every year. It's like leasing farmland. That's how they look at it.
Right.
So, well, we've gone way too far into this.
I know, it's just kind of interesting.
What's the caller's name?
Milan.
Milan.
Yeah, you know Milan.
Don't worry about this. If they want to keep the half mineral rights, I don't know. I would walk away, especially if it's a very first deal. But, it's not that complicated if you want to get through it. Mm-hmm. I like simple deals.
Well, yeah. And uncomplicated is let them have them. It's written on the deed and move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Jill
wants to get every deal done. That's why I love her.
Thank you.
She just, it's awesome. That's
well, it's like, what's the best way out? Can everybody win here? That kind of a thing.
I just want people to sign the offers, send them back, do the deal, resell it.
Right.
Find a partner that's awesome like Jill. if you're crazy like me.
You're not. You are motivated, and it's good.
Today's topic: picking the right county to send purchase offers to owners. This is the meat of the show. Jill asked us to do this topic because today she actually picked the title and everything based on a conversation that she had with a very new member. Jill, tell us about that, please.
Well, it's something that seems to come up often when I talk to folks who are either new or are thinking about getting into this, and they have some idea of how it all works, like probably everybody listening to the show. But one of the things that they get hung up on is just picking a place to start. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I just mean picking a county. And it's funny because I hear different things like, here's where I come from. I hear different things like some folks, in our world, tell people go here, here, and here, and here. I've had great luck, and they even go so far. This is a little joke of mine, the secret county thing. There is no secret county. Or they'll go to the ones where I know you can get a cheap or free list here, and you could start there. For me, it just comes back to, and so people, there's so many different, what am I trying to say? so much information out there that someone can get bogged down and not get anywhere. I guess that's what it is. And where I come, what we teach and what we do and why we're here is really helping every individual learn how to find the best place for them and get past that hurdle. I don't want to say small, because for some people it's huge. I mean, I have talked to people who have been looking into this for over a year and they still can't pick a county to start. They've got different lists and they look at things and they just can't get past it. They can't get a mailer out there and they can't get stuff going. So maybe it's a two-part thing. So, Jack, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, the next few shows, and this is with intent, are dedicated to getting past that first deal. And it's something that we all have had to go through, every single one of us, unless you grew up around your, working in your parents' office, doing deal after deal after deal. It's something that everybody struggles with. It's something I struggled with in 1999. So we are really going to dedicate these next several shows to this topic. Today's topic, though, is about, choosing the right county to send the offers in. Some people can't even get to that point. And what I say quite simply in the Cash Flow from Land program is there's a 3-step process that I go through mentally, and I do it on a computer screen to confirm for me that I'm choosing the right county to send letters in. And it's not 100%. It's just a darn good idea. So it falls under the topic of, I can teach you or show you my process, but in the end, you're going to have to go do it yourself. And there's a lot of people that just say, Steve, Jack, can't you just give me the name of a darn county that works? And I've done that, and it doesn't work. I just had a conference call with some people that I gave them the name of the county, and they said, "What the heck?"
Right.
First time I've ever heard it in my life. They were not as overwhelmed with offers as everybody else I've ever heard of.
Right.
So it turns out we dug deeper, and there's some other pretty serious issues, and it wasn't the county at all. It was other stuff. So here's a 3-step process. Number 1, get census maps from the county online, or from the census.gov online. And you'll see that get the color-coded ones, the ones that are dark green, where it's super rural, and they gauge it by people. People in this dark shaded area there's half of one person lives per square mile. They look at it like that. So that's number 1. Find a super rural county or super rural area. Number 2, go out on the internet to a place like taxsalelists.com or anywhere there, any one center location on the internet. It's posted on our website, the resources, to see if there's a ton of back taxes in that county. They'll list it there. You don't want to dig down and just only send letters to back tax property. We've covered that a million times. You're going to send letters to everybody, but it's a gauge. It's a gauge to see that, hey, I might send out a bunch of offers for a really low price and get a pretty good response. Number 3, and this is most important, go to places like landwatch.com, if in fact you're doing this with land, not houses, and find out what properties are selling for. If there's a bunch of properties on there, I mean hundreds and hundreds of properties that are selling for $100 each, and I'm exaggerating because that doesn't happen, but that may be a saturated county. If there's 14 properties and they're priced okay, and you can see that they're selling, that might be a good gauge.
Yep.
Is there an exact way to do this? No.
Exactly.
But you have to use your imagination, and you're going to hear me say this now for the next few shows. There's the imagination that you had, that you were born with. If you want an A to B to C instruction manual on how to become a successful real estate investor, that doesn't exist. And if somebody tells you that that it does, they're wrong. What you want to do is develop the talent for making these little choices all along your career.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect. I love it. And then pull the trigger. And if one of those things, as you're going along, you got 1 and 2, but you don't have 3, move on. Let's look at the next one till you get all 3, and then start sending out some offers. Then pull the trigger. Because you know what you just did, Jack, and I love it. Because you're giving it, how do I say this? Quantitative, is that the right term?
Quantitative.
Reason to pull the trigger, spend some money on some postage, and send out an offer. And that's the next thing. But for me, what I come back to is some people have trouble picking a place to start because they don't have those tools. They don't know what you just explained. And that's what I want you to share. And that's what I share with a lot of new people is, all right, hold on, everybody. We can help you, and some people I'm sure can figure this out on their own. But a lot of people need some guidance like you just did, Jack, and show us, please, Jack, show me how to do this. Please, Jack.
Well, I do.
I know that's what I'm saying. Please, Jack, I want a scrshot of this. I want to see you doing this. And that's what we do. And that's what really is helpful. And that's why so many of our folks are successful because they have those screenshots.
If you're struggling with this, if you're a current member or thinking about being a member, go out on Success Plant. And if you have a username, jump in. If you don't get one, it's all free. It's all 100% free. And it's packed with all of our current members talking to each other about little issues like this. I mean, this is maybe not such a little issue for you, but ask some of the senior guys in there or senior people, how did you guys get over this? How do you choose a county? They will jump in and tell you.
Do you know what's interesting about that? That just brought up a good point. That is a good testament of how well you have conveyed this message, Jack, because that is something I do not see very often from current members in Success Plant. The county, they're past it.
Yeah, they're past it.
They're past, they see it, they watch it, they get it, they get the mailers out. Now the big things are, now I have the deal and I need help with the deal.
Yeah.
that's really where they are, which is
right.
great. So that's
like Milan.
Yeah. So
the question asker today.
Exactly.
And I can guarantee you all the people that are successful with this and everywhere else, I can guarantee they took my advice. They took the 3-step process. They took it seriously, reviewed some counties, but they probably didn't send a ton of letters to the exact same counties that I used in the program. And they just went out and I have consulting calls every week with people who have chosen counties that I would never have considered to send letters to, and I never have. Jill and I have never said, and they're killing it.
I love it. It's the greatest thing. I'm like, where is that?
I know this might sound nebulous. I always look for a technical answer. Like, come on, just show me, give me the specs, give me the skew. Does the bolt fit onto the nut? And then, there's some imagination and creativity that goes into real estate investing, not just what we do.
See, and you know what's interesting too, Jack? Having this concrete example, I think will help a lot of people getting over the big nebulous hurdle. There's a lot of like, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? And by having step A, B, C that you can literally write down and check off, might take some of the scariness out of there and make people feel confident to send out a letter and get that first deal.
I have never ever spoken with in consulting or just in passing or with anyone who's a female who has struggled with this, because women generally trust their feelings and trust their sense of whatever when they're going through this process, and it ends up being, I never get a consulting call on, May, this isn't working the way I thought, because it's only
That's
with men, because men just want, and I'm a guy, I can say this, men want a map.
That's very interesting.
Point A to B to C.
Yeah.
Why didn't it work? Why is it so awesome?
That's funny. And you're saying, so we women are like, okay, just show me and leave me alone. I got this.
We have a,
it's kind of how I am.
We have a member. I've said this on the air before. It is exactly how you are.
Yeah.
That's why we're good partners.
Yeah.
We have a member who only purchases property in places where she's vacationed and had a good time.
Yeah.
That's her
so
criteria.
Far
from my 3, and she's killing it. So
yep.
That's that doesn't make the point. I'm not sure what does.
Exactly.
This is the technical 2 minutes of property investment advice from our 15-year, 15,000 transaction experience. Use your imagination when you're choosing a county. Get a gut feel for what's going to happen or what you think is going to happen and let her rip. Or, and here's the technical advice, send letters to multiple counties at the same time. It totally mitigates your risk. Don't just choose one and pour all your time and effort in there. Choose 6. Choose different states. Try new stuff.
Love it.
It's going to happen your whole career. You have to try new things constantly. We do it every single day. Hey, if you have a question or you want to be on the show, call 800-725-8816. Jill, inspire us, please.
Do you have a grateful attitude during your day? Hopefully all day. Or even part of your day. It's a mindset. And if you're not walking around at some point in your day, reminding yourself to be grateful for whatever little thing it is, for the car that you drive, for the home that you live in, for the people that love you, for the job that you have, even though you may not love the job, but it's a paycheck. It's keeping, the wheels on the bus, and healthy kids and the sun shining. It's important and you need to. Jack, do you?
Well said.
Thank you.
We all could use a dose of slowing down for 1 second and being thankful for what we have. I know it sounds trite. It's not trite at all. I bet $1. Almost all of us don't do it enough.
It's funny. I'll share my little story. What made me think of this morning. I was sitting, waiting for you, Jack.
Waiting for me?
Yes, I was. And
you mean a woman was waiting for a man?
I was waiting for you, Jack. You ran inside the drugstore to get a notepad. And I'm sitting out in the car with the top down, by the way. Anyway, so that's probably why this woman was able to talk to me. But I just happened to be sitting in the car. I must have been listening to music with a smile on my face. And it was just, or something. For some reason, the woman rolled up and she parked in the spot next to me, and kind of thought maybe I was waiting for them to open. And she said, "Are they open?" I'm like, "Oh, yes. No, they're all good. I'm just waiting." She's like, "Oh, okay. Thank you." And, and just have a nice day. I'm like, "Thank you. You too." And I'm just like.
Need a little Southern California moment.
Right. And I'm like, I've lived enough time out of Southern California that I forgot how everybody kind of is here sometimes anyway. And it just was just that little have a nice day and a little nice smile and the stuff I try to do that other people, but now they're happening back to me, I'm grateful for. And it was really nice.
Awesome advice.
Thank you.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for much less than what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Good show, Jill.
Thank you. Do you remember me saying that about in the car?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just, people know how to live life here.
Yeah.
I've been saying it over and over again. I think it's great.
It's nice. We all need to be reminded to be grateful for what we have sometimes. Because it's too easy to get caught up in the negative and the pushing and the, burning the candle at both ends to get everything better, whatever level you want it to be at. So it's nice.
Right.
I just want to tell everybody, slow down a minute and be thankful.
I never got, everybody gets hung up on stuff just when they start in REI, real estate investment, and finding a county was not one of the things for me. Doing paperwork and some other stuff really was. But did you ever struggle with that?
No, because I had you. But I hear it often.
Mm-hmm.
It really does come up often. And I think a percentage of it is bad information, meaning they don't know what they're doing, kind of thing. And
what do you mean they don't know? You mean the people who are instructing them?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
You don't mean...
Not our people.
You don't mean the actual investors.
No. They didn't get the right information and the right help learning how to do it. And then I think there's a percentage of, pushing the button. It's like answering the phone the first time. There's a little of that.
We have a direct competitor who says this sentence a lot. There's a secret list of counties, and I'm going to give it to you, and that's just not true. There's no secret list of counties. What there is using your imagination and creativity and doing statistical analysis to see what indicators are pointing to the fact that, hey, maybe you should send some law offers out to this place. And it's not just land, it's for everything. We do it with apartment buildings and houses all the time. Mm-hmm. And so, if you're going to follow an A to B to C roadmap, you're never going to be able to branch out into other things that really can make you some serious money, like commercial real estate, wholesaling houses, and all that other stuff, which we do all the time. So
exactly.
Good show. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land,
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. Let's go buy some property.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.